Ladies and gentlemen, as of today, the Palestinian BDS National Committee, the largest Palestinian coalition leading the global BDS movement, endorses the organic boycott campaign against Coca-Cola to pressure the company and to end its complicity in Israel's illegal occupation, apartheid, and genocide. I will no longer showcase Coca-Cola products on my stream. That means no more Diet Coke. Why boycott Coca-Cola? Because it's implicated in Israeli war crimes. According to research by Who Profits, the central beverage company known as Coca-Cola Israel, which is the exclusive franchisee of the Coca-Cola company in Israel, operates a regional distribution center and cooling houses in the Israeli settlement industrial zone. Furthermore, its subsidiary, Tabor Winery, produces wines from grapes sourced from vineyards located on occupied land in settlements in the West Bank and Syria and Golan. Why now? Human rights and health activists, among many others, have been campaigning against Coca-Cola and similarly complicit corporations for decades, including grassroots drives targeting the company for its complicity in Israel's gross violations of Palestinian human rights. During Israel's ongoing live stream genocide, Israeli soldiers have often been pictured with Coke cans donated to them by various genocide-enabling groups. This has provoked even more anger against the company, particularly given that Israel is starving 2.3 million Palestinians in occupied and besieged Gaza Strip, severely limiting their access to clean water, and as a result, inducing the mass spread of contagious diseases. Given this context, Palestinian activists in Gaza and many BDS activists in the Arab world and many Muslim-majority countries and in some European countries as well have called on the BDS movement to add Coke to its priority targets. Local alternatives are popping up worldwide to substitute Coca-Cola, an unnecessary and replaceable beverage. These alternatives have been gaining market share across the world, including in Palestine, China, Bangladesh, Sweden, Egypt, India, South Africa, Turkey, and Lebanon. Okay, I don't really believe that, but it's fine. You know, I guess Pepsi is fine for the time being. Or Dr. Pepper. I don't know. Based on all this, giving Coke's large contribution, though, through business, as usual, and taxes to Israel's war chest during the genocide, the Palestinian BDS National Committee, BNC, the largest Palestinian coalition leading the global BDS movement, endorses the grassroots organic boycott Coke campaigns to pressure the company to end its complicity in Israel's illegal occupation, apartheid, and genocide. But like, there is a very clear and very deliberate reason why the BDS movement is very directed and hyper targeted, okay, towards a specific brand. It's so that dumb like you don't start chirping at people randomly for assuming that someone is doing something wrong, okay? The problem is you still do it regardless. You're like, well, I've decided that in the Venezuelan market, and if I catch you drinking that soda, I'm going to kill you. Shut up. Just don't, run around with Coca-Cola. That's it. To be fair, it's very confusing. Dr. Pepper is co-owned by Coke in the UK, Japan, and in South Korea. In the US, is owned by Keurig. Canada, owned by PepsiCo. Yeah. Dr. Pepper is fine, okay? It is not a Coke product. Please. Oh my God. Bro is yelling at 90% of Hosgard right now. I know. It's one of the most annoying aspects of like being a leftist and trying to do what's right is that the parasocial nature and the immediate feedback that like chatters can get, and also the idea that they can like finally enforce something upon their favorite content creators creates this unique space only in this specific, hyper specific field where you're a political content creator who happens to live stream all the time, where people just go, oh, now my activism is about yelling at random content creators, like random political content creators, because I misunderstood the assignment given to me by the BDS movement. But yeah, it's not the end of the world, It is what it is. Since you always say there's no ethical consumption under capitalism and that consumer activism doesn't work, why go through the pains of not consuming brands that support the IDF when realistically you might not affect them at all? Because pressured campaigns do work, especially when they're directed and targeted and have a very specific goal. That's the difference. It's like the Montgomery bus boycott, dude. Like very clearly designed to reach a specific outcome. Do you understand? The Bud Light boycott is decentralized and was stupid. They didn't even know what they were angry about. Even if it was very targeted, it still would have been bad, because they were boycotting it for bad reasons. They were boycotting because they saw one trans influencer on one singular can. They got one canned, okay? And also the BDS movement has achieved some very noticeable victories. Specifically, some of these victories have been with Puma, with Intel refusing to open up with Puma refusing to continue their sponsorship of the Israeli Football Association. Sabra Hummus is another one as well. What? Please explain to me exactly what you mean by that. That would be amazing. I'll get back to that. But yeah, Ben Sharpino. Yeah, there's been some pretty significant victories against Elbit Systems as well, the Israeli weapons manufacturer. There are a lot of BDS movement wins since October 7. From Canada to California, the movement to divest from Israel is slowly gaining ground. down. 1. American cities have divested from Israel. Okay. City Council of Portland, Maine became the 4th U.S. city to vote to cut investments from companies doing business with Israel since October 7. Portland Mayor Mark Dion said he understood Israel's desire for retribution. He added that our role collectively is to grab their shoulder and say, it's enough, it's simply enough, and then pull them away. Other U.S. cities such as Portland, Oregon, Berkeley, California, St. Louis, Missouri have passed BDS measures focused on specific companies. But this marks the first time a U.S. city council fully endorsed a pro-BDS measure against Israel, Middle Eastern Monitor reports. Scotiabank cuts shares in Elbit Systems by the asset manager for Scotiabank, a major bank based in Canada and the Americas, has halved his investments in Israeli arms manufacturers following the protests. Elbit-owned company in Massachusetts shut its doors. KMC Systems, an engineering company owned by top Israeli weapon maker Elbit Systems, has quietly left its office in Cambridge, Massachusetts after months of weekly pro-Palestinian protests, according to the Boston Globe. North American Trade Union divests from Israel. The president of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades announced the group's international pension fund will divest from companies supporting the destruction of Gaza. Canadian, Irish, and American universities have divested from Israel. San Francisco State University, Sacramento State University, Ontario Tech University, Student Union, Concordia University. Irish students forced Trinity College Dublin to divest from Israel. Puma is another one that we just mentioned. So there are some pretty solid dubs. I think like even Elbit Systems was actually denied entry into a weapons conference, which is pretty funny. You have Norway's largest private pension fund divesting from Caterpillar, which is on the boycott, divestments, and sanctions list as well. Caterpillar's on that list for the IDF-9 dozers that they have that are specifically designed for the Israeli occupying forces to use as they bulldoze over Palestinian roads and Palestinian homes. Famously, I believe they were placed on the BDS list after the murder of Rachel Corrie, an American activist from Washington that was ran over by an Israeli war dozer. You know, so yeah, Caterpillar's D9 series bulldozer imported Israel by Israeli tractors and equipment, part of Zoko Enterprises. In partnership with the Israeli military's technology and maintenance corps, Zoko Enterprises rebuilt these machines with vehicle-mounted weapons and armored drivers' cabins to use in the occupied Palestinian territory. The widely used Caterpillar D9R bulldozers weigh around 62 tons, are 4 meters tall and wide, and 8 meters long. So Barclays divest from Israel Weapons Company, activists say. That was another one. So, you know, all of this stuff might seem insignificant, inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. You might say, why the f am I doing this? Palestinians are still getting slaughtered. But ultimately, it works. Slowly but surely, this pressure campaign that worked against apartheid South Africa as well, in a very meaningful way, is working against Israel as well. Yeah. And it's ironic because a big part of the process here for the BDS national campaign is to make it as easily digestible as possible. Wait, this guy got timed out because he wrote an essay. Right and left-wing political commentators on social media share many similarities. Oh my God, he chat GPT'd it. Oh my God. Dude, you're a bot, brother. You're a bot. You don't have any convictions of your own. You literally went to chat GPT. Do you not recognize how sad that is? You let a machine write your points for you. You don't have any firmly held convictions whatsoever. I want to have a conversation here. How are you not embarrassed to admit that you went to chat GPT? I called it before I even read the full thing. And he admits it. They simplify complex issues, use emotional appeals, foster echo chambers, and emphasize polarization. Both monetize their platforms, selectively use facts, vilify opponents, and leverage memes or pop culture for engagement. Despite differing ideologies, their methods often mirror each other, driven by the dynamics of social media and audience behavior. Yes, it's ChatGPT, but it is what it is. That is the most pathetic thing I've ever seen from a human being. You literally went to an artificial intelligence chatbot, openly recognizing that you are less than an NPC, okay? You are literally less than a video game NPC. You understand that, right? What a intellectually incurious, lazy, idiotic thing to do. If you have an opinion, okay, if you have this firmly held conviction, you should be able to communicate exactly what it is. Maybe you're not going to be the best at communicating your perspective, but like, you should have some thoughts in there. You're a human being. Why the f would you go to chat GPT to try to seek out answers? Like, that's insane. That blows my mind. Yeah, this is the guy who wants to say I'm no better than the right wingers, but the type of person that has no opinions of his own, head so goddamn empty that they rely on a robot to churn out a response for them. That is sad, brother. That's sad. You have lost your humanity. Holy moly. ChatGPT is right, though. Oh my God. We're so cooked. We're so goddamn cooked. Yeah, no, I'm not going to argue against the robot, okay? I hope for the day where, you know, I have people with like actual perspectives that don't just go, I have an opinion. It's mostly vibes based because I have no actual convictions of my own. I'm going to resort to, when you have the brain of a dog, holiday pro tip, rely on ChatGPT AI, the Thanksgiving table to ease polarizing arguments and achieve a peaceful celebration. Guy who sucks at being a person sees huge potential in AI. We are losing sight of what makes us human. Why remain on Twitter? I just explained it. I said, as long as I can talk to a global consortium of journalists, including those who are still trapped in Gaza, as long as that is my direct line of communication to many people, I will still remain on Twitter. That's it.